heard around the world right here in Concord. From Gettysburg to Vella Wood, from the beaches of Normandy to the Chosin Reservoir in the Idrang Valley, from Samara to Kandahar, and countless places in between, Americans have fought and died, first to secure our freedoms, but also to protect its cause for all mankind. Threats to freedom, however, are not found only on battlefields.
Today and every day, we honor the brave men and women of the United States Armed Forces who sacrifice time with their families so we can spend time with ours. We honor those who willingly miss birthdays, holidays, anniversaries, children's recitals and baseball games, who miss special moments with family and friends, also we as a nation can be free. Today, we honor all the men and women who have served in the U.S. military in any way at any time, who have dedicated their time to our country, who have risked their lives to protect ours. Here with me now is retired United States Air Force captain and senior Veterans Affairs advisor for Concerned Veterans for America, Darren Selnick. Darren, thanks for being here today.
Hey, Liz, thanks for having me. I'm so glad you're doing this show today because, of course, it's Veterans Day, and the American public needs to know what's going on with veterans on Veterans Day.
Yeah, and I want to thank you for your service. You served in the Air Force as a captain, and I appreciate the time and dedication that you gave to our country. Now, do you want to tell us a little bit about the mission of your organization, Concerned Veterans for America?
Sure. Concerned Veterans for America was formed a few years ago. There was a big hole with the veterans organizations. That's with policy and advocacy. So we like to say that we fight in the halls of Congress and fight in the various states with our grassroots for developing policy and positions to betterment veterans. We're Veterans for America, so it's not just strictly veterans organizations and veterans issues. It also has issues that are good for America, reducing the debt, having a strong economy, having strong national security, a strong military. So it's both the veteran stuff and other issues that reflect a strong America. That's what we're fighting for.
Right, because after veterans have completed their service, they become regular civilians again, and what's good for the country is good for them. I like your slogan of fighting in the halls of Congress and in grassroots. Let's talk a little bit about health care. That's an issue that's been in the news recently. A lot of scandal and mismanagement plaguing the VA. But politics aside for a moment, we'll get to that a little bit later. In your opinion and the policies your organization advocates for, what is the best solution to provide quality health care to the men and women who have served our nation?
Well, we studied this a year ago for over 6 months. We put together a task force. And I actually have the book here, Fixing Veterans Health Care. And it's a bipartisan task force. We had both Republicans and Democrats on it, former Senate Majority Leader Dr. Frist. We had former VHA Undersecretary of Health, Dr. Cussman, Jim Marshall, former Democratic. And we studied this for 6 months. And recently a 4,000-page assessment came out, independent assessment that the VA paid for by RAND and some other corporations came out, validated everything that we did. Basically, we have 9 recommendations to basically take a 1940s healthcare system and put it into 2015. I actually served in the VHA for several years and in healthcare outside of the VHA. And basically, it's got 3 components. One, we have to restructure the VHA so that it's a healthcare system. Right now, the government trying to do healthcare. We need to make it a healthcare. Right now, it's the DMV of healthcare. We want to make it the Cleveland Clinic for healthcare. So we have specific recommendations how to do that. Secondly, veterans should have choice. Our guiding principles are the veterans come first, and the veterans should have choice. All Americans have choice in their health care except the VA. Most Americans don't realize that the VA is the only socialized healthcare system in the country. And that's one of the reasons why it is such a failure. So we want choice. That means any healthcare plan in your state, you should have the choice of. If the VA is doing a good job by you, great, you can pick them. But if they're not, or if you live 150 miles away, you should have the chance to pick the healthcare system, the community provider near you. And thirdly, we know reforms don't happen unless someone's a watchdog for it, so we have an implementation commission to make sure the reforms happen the way they're structured, the way Congress passes them, and frankly, to have experts around the country be part of that commission so that good ideas happen and healthcare is always improved and reformed with the VA.
That sounds great. A complete overhaul is what's needed, certainly. Reports have said that veterans have waited anywhere from 90 days to over a year for a single doctor's appointment. And not only is that bad health care, it's an example of what happens when government takes over our health care, and it's certainly not the respect and quality care that we, as a country, should be giving to the men and women who served our nation.